Welcome, my name is Jerry Sunarine, and today's lesson will look at what patterns do you see when plotting points in the coordinate plane. Before we get into today's lesson, we're going to do a bit of review of coordinates. Okay, and when we're plotting points on a coordinate grid, so you want to always start at the origin 0, 0. So 0, 0 is located here. It's when the x is 0 and the y is 0. That's your starting point. And think about when you're plotting points, if you forget which direction you need to go, think of the alphabet. X comes first, then the Y. What we mean is, here's an example of a coordinate. The coordinate is followed by parentheses, 4, 8. We want to emphasize that this is the right way of writing a coordinate with the X, Y. Move along the x coordinate would be for the 4 and move along the y coordinate for the 8. So when we're plotting this point 4, 8, we want to start at our origin. We move on the x-axis first. We move to 4. We stop. Then we go into our y and move towards our y, which is 8 spaces. We go here, stop, and plot our point. When we plot our point, we put a dot and we put the coordinate there to name the coordinate. We can also, if the coordinate has a letter, we can use that letter to plot that as well. So if this coordinate was letter A, we would use an A here. And when we're writing it, make sure it's capital letters. Do not write lowercase, it's capital letter. And you'll see some similar examples later on in this lesson. Okay, we're going to do a bit of review. Okay, so in thinking about this problem, we are given some coordinates. We have point A, B, C, and D. We're going to look at our problem. Problem 1 says describe patterns in coordinate pairs and name the rule. Plot points A and D, then connect to make a line. So here we have 4 coordinates, 0, 0, 0 is your x, 0 is your y, hence your coordinate is 0, 0. B would be 1, 1, and so on. So we want you to plot these 4 points and connect the line and see, and what do you notice there? And there's some questions here. The first question is, after you draw your points and draw the line, will the point with coordinates 4, 4 also fall on the line AD? And also look at the coordinates of the points contained on the line AD. What patterns do you notice about the x and y coordinates? Okay, we're going to compare our answers on the next slide. Okay, so when we're plotting our points, here is a way we can do this. Notice in this example, when I'm plotting the points, I use the letter to represent the point, and I didn't write the coordinate. You can write the coordinate, however, writing a letter might take up less space, so it's less crowded. So here, just so that we're plotting the points, 0, 0. So 0, 0 is also known as the origin, which is over here. So that's point A. The next coordinate would be 1, 1. So I start at the origin, move to 1 on the x, then I move up to the y, and I plot my point B. And I do that for the other values. And now we're going to move on to looking at some of the questions here. Will the point of coordinate 4, 4 also fall on the line AD? And the response is yes. If we continue the line, we see that 4, 4 falls on the coordinate grid. And if we wanted to go even further, other points that fall on the line include 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8. And we can see that if we continue the line, we can have those points there. And notice when we're drawing the line, there's arrows on both sides. That's a common error that students make. Make sure when you draw your line, it's not just a line, but a line with an arrow on each side. That indicates that the line goes on forever. Okay, and then look at the coordinates of the points contained on line AD. What patterns do you notice about the x and y coordinates? As the x increases by 1, the y also increase by 1 as well. Okay, we're going to do some practice problems of plotting our points, looking at patterns, and drawing lines. Okay, so here's our first set of points. So we want you to plot the coordinates and describe the pattern. Okay, so we're going to resume on the next slide. Okay, so here notice how I plot each of the points, L, M, and N. So again, if I'm plotting L, I start at the origin. My X value is 0, so that tells me I'm not moving anywhere. But on my Y value, it's 3. So my X value, I'm not moving. However, I'm moving up to 3 for my Y value. Okay, for the next value 2, 3 for my M, I go on my X to 2, then I go up to 3 and plot my M. And lastly, I'm going to plot N, which is 4, 3. I start at the origin, go to 4, then go up to 3. And I draw my line. Here, so I'm just describing the pattern here, the X value is increasing by 2 while the Y value remains the same at the value of 3. And that's what we notice here as well. The line results in a horizontal line. A horizontal line goes left to right, and in case if we're not to get confused with a vertical line, which goes up and down. Other points on this line can include 6, 3, 8, 3, and 10, 3. Okay, we're going to move on to some other coordinates. Okay, so we're going to try this one out. So I want you to plot point O, P, and Q and describe the pattern here. Okay, we're going to resume on the next slide. Okay, here we go. So we're plotting the point 0, 0. Again, 0, 0 is on the origin, so 0 on the X, 0 on the Y. That would be our point, and I label it with a capital O. The next point is P, which is 1, 2. So I'm going to move 1 on my X, and I'm going to move 2 up to my Y. And I get P, and I write a capital P. And then lastly, Q is 2, 4. I start at the origin, move to 2 on the X, move up to my Y, and plot the coordinate Q. Okay, and then after that, I draw my line, and notice how my line is continuous. It has an arrow on the top and an arrow on the bottom to show that it continues moving forward. The response that I would write here is the X value increases by 1, while the Y value increases by 2. Some other coordinates that fall on the line would be 3, 6, 4, 8, 5, 10. And you can continue doing this even further. Okay, we're gonna go over our last set of points. All right, so here we want you to plot the coordinates and describe the pattern. Here is a little different. So here we have R, S, and T, and the X value 1, 1/2. So here we're looking at 1/2 values. We're looking and we have whole number integers and half numbers. Okay, so pause the video, think about how you would respond to this on the coordinate, draw your points, and describe the pattern. Okay, we're going to resume. So here, so we're going to start off with our coordinate R. So here we have 1, 1/2. So I start at my origin. I move 1 on my X. And since I'm going to move to 1/2 on my Y, notice that 1/2 is between 0 and 1. So I didn't go all the way up to 1, but I went to the half point. I'm going to do the same thing with S. So I'm going to start my origin. I'm going to move 2 on my X coordinate, and then I'm going to go 1, and then I'm going to go a half, which is one more spot. And this would be 2, 1, 1/2. All right, and then the last coordinate is T. So I'm going to start my origin. I'm going to go to 3 on my X, and then I'm going to go up to 2.5 on my Y. All right, and just describing the pattern here, the X value increases by 1 and the Y value increases by 1, starting with 1/2. Some other points that fall on the line are 4, 3/2, 5, 4 and 1/2, and 6, 5, 1/2. Okay, now we're going to move on to our summarization. Okay, so what patterns do you see when plotting points on the coordinate plane? So the first thing you want to do is the coordinate falls on the line, and you can predict other points on the line. So here we have 3 points, and you can continue drawing points on the line, and they would fall there. Hope this was helpful, and have a great day.